Maria was a mother who lived in a small, worn-down house on the edge of a bustling town. The walls were thin, and the floors creaked under the weight of everyday life. With 2 children to care for, she often felt like she was juggling too many balls at once. Her mornings began early, as she would rise before the sun peeked through the curtains. She would brew a pot of coffee that barely had enough caffeine to keep her awake and prepare breakfast with whatever ingredients she could find in the pantry. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. Her son, Alex, was 8 years old and always curious. He loved asking questions about everything, from why the sky was blue to what made the stars twinkle. Maria adored his curiosity, but sometimes it felt overwhelming. Just last week, he had asked her why they didn't have a car like some of the other kids at school. Maria had smiled softly and explained that they used their feet instead, which made them strong and healthy. She believed in turning every challenge into a lesson. Yet her heart ached when she saw the disappointed look on his face. Her little daughter, Lily, was only 4, but already had a big imagination. She loved to dress up in Maria's old clothes and pretend to be a princess or a brave explorer. Maria often found her twirling around the living room, laughing as she went on grand adventures with her stuffed animals. In those moments, Maria's heart warmed, and she cherished the joy her children brought into her life, even amid their struggles. But life was not easy. Each day brought new challenges, bills to pay, errands to run, and food to prepare on a tight budget. Maria worked long hours at a local diner, where the tips were often meager and the shifts demanding. Sometimes, when she returned home late at night, she found Alex sitting up in bed with wide eyes, waiting for his mother to tuck him in. It broke her heart to see him worry about whether she would come back home. One rainy afternoon, while trying to fix a leaky sink that had been dripping for weeks, Maria's hands brushed against something hard and cold beneath the floorboards. Curious, she knelt down and pried up a loose board. There it was, a small wooden box covered in dust and cobwebs. Despite its shabby appearance, Maria felt a spark of intrigue as she pulled it out. What could be inside? As she held the box in her hands, memories flooded back to her childhood. She remembered playing hide-and-seek with her siblings in their own old house and finding hidden treasures of their own, a broken toy or forgotten letters from a time long gone. That sense of nostalgia mixed with worry as she thought about what this box might hold for her family now. Maria placed the box gently on the table and wiped off the dust. It looked old and worn, with ornate carvings that suggested it had a story of its own. The moment felt significant, as if this discovery could change everything for her family. She took a deep breath and sat down at the table, feeling both anxious and excited. The house grew quiet except for the rhythmic patter of rain against the windows. Maria glanced at Alex and Lily playing nearby, their laughter echoing sweetly through the room. This moment felt precious. She wanted to keep it safe, but also felt the weight of what was to come. With trembling hands, Maria opened the box carefully. As the lid creaked open, it revealed several items wrapped in faded cloth. A stack of old letters tied together with frayed string, some yellowed photographs showing people she'd never met, and a delicate locket that glittered dimly in the soft light of the room. Each item held potential stories waiting to unfold. Yet a pang of unease settled in her heart. What if these secrets from the past were too painful? What if they changed how she viewed her family's history? As a mother focused on protecting her children from hardship, Maria hesitated for just a moment longer before deciding she must confront whatever lay inside this box. With Alex's voice calling out to her from across the room, Maria shook off her worries for now. Today was still about family and love. Those were essential for keeping them strong through any storm. But deep down, she knew that this hidden treasure could lead to answers about who they were and how they came to be in this situation. As she gently lifted one of the letters from the box, she realized this journey into the past could uncover connections that shaped their lives more than she knew. With determination settling in her heart, Maria prepared herself to dive deeper into what this box would reveal. Not just as a mother, but as someone seeking the truth about her family's legacy. As the rain continued to pour outside, Maria felt an urge to tidy up the house. It was a rare moment when the children were entertained with their toys, allowing her some time to reset their small living space. She started in the kitchen, wiping down counters and organizing scattered papers. The smell of dampness lingered in the air, and she couldn't shake the feeling that the house needed more than just a good cleaning. It needed hope. After finishing in the kitchen, Maria moved to the living room. She dusted off surfaces while keeping an eye on Alex and Lily as they played together, their laughter a comforting sound amidst the gray drizzle outside. As she swept along the edges of the room, her broom hit something hard beneath the faded rug. Surprised, she bent down to see what it was. Curiosity crept into her heart as she lifted the edge of the rug, revealing a small section of floorboards that seemed slightly loose. With some effort, she pried one board up, her fingers trembling with anticipation. Underneath lay an old wooden box, covered in dust and cobwebs, but still intact. The box was small and rectangular, with intricate carvings that hinted at a story hidden away for years. Maria's heart raced as she reached for the box. She carefully pulled it from its resting place and placed it on the floor beside her. It felt heavy in her hands, not just because of its physical weight, but also due to the history it might hold. Memories of childhood plays and family secrets danced in her mind as she recalled how her own mother had once told stories about treasures hidden away in old houses. Could this be one of those treasures? Taking a deep breath, she brushed off layers of dust from its surface, revealing beautiful engravings that shimmered faintly in the dim light. The box seemed to call out to her, urging her to open it and discover what lay inside. But there was also a sense of dread. What if it contained nothing but unwanted memories or painful truths? The children's laughter echoed through the room, pulling Maria back to reality. She glanced at Alex and Lily, who were completely engrossed in their game, blissfully unaware of what their mother had found. In that moment, Maria felt a flicker of hope mixed with apprehension. Did this box hold something that might change their lives? With determination settling into her chest, Maria gently set the box on the table and wiped her hands on her apron before reaching for its latch. It felt cool against her fingertips, as if it had been waiting for someone to unlock its secrets for all these years. A soft click echoed in the quiet room as she opened it slowly. Inside lay a collection of items wrapped in faded cloth. Old letters tied together with frayed string, yellowed photographs featuring people whose faces were unfamiliar yet intriguing, and a delicate locket that caught the light in unexpected ways. Each item seemed like a puzzle piece from a life long forgotten. Maria's heart swelled with curiosity, but also tightened with worry. What kind of stories were woven into these artifacts? Would they reveal joys or sorrows? She hesitated for just a moment. After all, facing the past could lead to emotions she had buried deep while struggling to focus on the present. Outside, thunder rumbled softly, almost echoing her internal conflict. She heard raindrops pattering harder against the window panes, as if nature itself sensed her uncertainty. Yet, amid that tension, was also an undeniable thrill, like opening a door into another world. She took a seat at the table where sunlight barely pierced through rain clouds outside. The memories swirled around her like storm clouds, ready to burst free as she began unwrapping each piece carefully. First came the letters. Their edges were crinkled and soft from age. Each one appeared to be written in elegant cursive, inviting her into conversations long gone from this earth. The photographs followed next. Images of smiling faces frozen in time. There were children playing in fields of grass and adults gathered around tables laden with food and laughter. They looked so happy. Yet Maria couldn't help but wonder why these faces had ended up here, tucked away under dusty floorboards instead of being cherished openly. Finally came the locket, a delicate piece glinting dully under low-light conditions. It felt warm against her palm, as if it held warmth from all those who had touched it before her. As Maria turned it over to inspect it closely, doubts whispered in her mind. Did those who owned this treasure face pain similar to hers? What choices did they make? With every moment spent examining these artifacts, Maria felt herself drawn deeper into their stories. A journey she never expected, but now knew she must take for both herself and her children. This discovery could connect them to their pasts and perhaps pave a path toward hope for their future. As thunder rumbled again outside, she breathed deeply again and prepared herself for whatever revelations awaited within this hidden trove. A journey into understanding herself and generations before her that would leave no stone unturned. With the wooden box finally opened, Maria's heart raced as she peered inside. The light from the dim room flickered across the contents, casting shadows that danced like ghosts of the past. She felt a mixture of excitement and dread wash over her. What stories would these forgotten items tell? Would they bring joy or sorrow? Tentatively, she reached for an old letter first, its yellowed edges soft and crinkled from age. As her fingers brushed against the paper, a wave of nostalgia flooded her senses. Each letter was a potential window into lives lived long ago. Perhaps it contained hopes, dreams, or even regrets that echoed through time. Maria thought of all the letters she had written herself in her youth, filled with dreams of a better life. Did this letter hold something similar? As she unfolded it slowly, a faint scent wafted up, like dried flowers mixed with old ink that made her take a deep breath. She could almost hear the whispers of those who had poured their hearts into these pages. The handwriting was elegant yet shaky, telling tales of love and longing. Yet uncertainty gnawed at her heart. What if these letters revealed secrets she was not ready to face? Maria tried to calm herself by focusing on the words written on the page, but her eyes blurred slightly with anxiety as emotion surged within her. She wondered who had written this letter and to whom it was addressed. Was it a message full of hope or one burdened by sadness? As she read through parts of it aloud softly to herself, she began to sense the warmth of connection. Yet fear washed over her when realizing how intertwined their fates might be. Next came the photographs tucked beneath the letters, pieces of history trapped in glossy squares that held smiles frozen in time. Maria picked one up carefully. It depicted a family gathering around a long table adorned with delicious food and laughter in abundance. The faces were unfamiliar, yet strikingly relatable. They seemed to exude warmth and joy that tugged at her heartstrings. Why had these images been hidden away? Did they know happiness only to face pain afterward? In that moment, Maria felt both envy and gratitude. While her life was filled with struggles now, there was still laughter in their home, albeit quieter than what was captured in those pictures. Before she could dwell too long on those feelings, something shiny caught her eye at the bottom of the box. The delicate locket glimmering amidst worn cloths and remnants of time gone by. She picked it up gingerly, amazed at how heavy it felt for such a small object. There was something undeniably significant about this piece. Perhaps it held more than just metal. It might contain someone's memories or cherished moments. Turning it over in her hands, she noticed intricate designs etched into its surface. A swirl of vines entwined around its frame like an embrace from another world. Her heartbeat quickened as she imagined what lay inside. Pictures? A tiny note? Or maybe nothing at all. After all this time spent digging into memories left behind, would this locket carry more weight than mere nostalgia? With trembling hands, Maria unclasped it cautiously, half expecting something magical to burst forth from within like dreams unleashed after being confined for far too long. Instead, she found emptiness staring back at her. A hollow space waiting patiently for someone's chosen memento. That realization hit hard. Emptiness can sometimes feel just as heavy as anything tangible. A reminder that some stories remain unshared, while others fade away entirely. It hit close to home for Maria because she understood what it meant to carry burdens silently while yearning for connection. And now faced with evidence that perhaps others had done just the same. The air around her felt thick with possibility, mixed with regret, as tears pricked at Maria's eyes. Each item pulled threads between herself and those who had come before. Connections rooted not solely in blood, but also experiences shared across generations bound by joys and sorrows alike. Lily's giggle drifted through from afar. A sound that reminded Maria why uncovering these secrets mattered so much beyond mere curiosity. It was about understanding where they came from so they could forge ahead together as a family, unearthing strength woven into their tapestry throughout time. She knew then this journey wouldn't be easy. Confronting buried memories often comes hand in hand with acknowledging pain, but also revealed opportunities for growth and healing too. Taking another deep breath to steady herself amidst swirling thoughts and emotions within this quiet place filled with echoes from days gone past. She gathered courage once again, knowing that what lay ahead would shape their future moving forward together toward whatever revelations awaited them in both heartening moments discovered alongside, heartbreak along their path ahead. With trembling hands, Maria took a deep breath and began to explore the contents of the box more thoroughly. She set aside the letters for now, wanting to savor that discovery a little longer. Instead, she picked up a stack of photographs that had been tucked neatly beneath the fragile pieces of paper. The moment she turned them over, memories surged, ignited by the faces smiling back at her. The first photograph depicted a group of children playing in a sun-drenched field, their laughter seemingly frozen in time. Maria recognized one girl in the middle. It was her mother as a child, a vibrant image of innocence with braided hair bouncing as she raced through the grass. Next to her stood her siblings, their faces bright with joy, clearly unburdened by the weight of the world. But then a knot formed in Maria's stomach. This joyful scene felt like a stark contrast to the weight of responsibility she bore today. That realization struck her harder than she anticipated. The laughter captured in that moment contrasted sharply with the harsh realities she faced every day. What had happened to that girl, full of dreams and laughter? Where had the happiness gone? A tinge of bitterness swept over her as she pondered the sacrifices made along the way. Next, Maria picked up another photograph, this one more somber. It showed an older couple standing together on a porch adorned with flowers, but their expressions were serious, almost solemn. Maria felt an uneasy flutter in her chest. She was certain this couple must have been her grandparents. But why did they look so pained? The memories stirred uneasily in her mind. She had heard whispered stories about family struggles and losses, but they had always felt so distant and abstract. Feeling drawn to yet another picture, she turned it over forcefully, revealing a faded date scrawled on the back, 1932. The years sent chills through her as the footsteps of history echoed around her. Had her family faced hardships back then that mirrored what she faced now? Were these signs telling her that struggles were a cycle passed down through generations? Putting that photograph down carefully, Maria returned to the letters. She could sense they contained deeper stories than any image could convey. The first letter she picked up had a blue envelope bearing elegant handwriting, a letter addressed to "My dearest Clara." The soft, crinkled paper seemed to whisper secrets, as if it held precious tales waiting to be unearthed. Maria opened it slowly, cradling it between her fingers as she read. It spoke of longing and distance, of love almost lost, and hearts that endured separation. As she read on, tears pricked at her eyes. It told of difficult choices between love and duty, capturing heartfelt emotions about what it meant to sacrifice personal happiness for something greater. She wondered who Clara was, and if she ever found happiness after such troubled sentiments flowed from this letter. What life had been sacrificed? Or perhaps what love left unfulfilled? When times turned harsh, there was a sense of history repeating itself as Maria thought about how hard she worked each day to provide for Alex and Lily while sacrificing her own dreams. The echoes of the past resonated with her reality more than ever. With shaking fingers, Maria folded the letter back carefully and placed it aside before reaching for another one. This multiple-page letter unfurled like an ancient scroll, carrying more words than she imagined could fit onto a single piece of paper. It detailed a struggle against poverty, describing how hardships affected not just one person, but their entire family. A story vividly familiar, yet tinged with heartbreak. As she read through the lines filled with sorrow and resilience, Maria started to gasp softly at details that made her heart ache. Mentions of missing meals so children could eat. She couldn't help but recognize fragments of her own life in those phrases. Struggles felt almost universal across time, but remained painfully personal. Finally, there was the locket at the bottom of the box. The last piece holding its own mysterious weight. Holding it delicately, Maria traced her fingers over its intricate design again, before opening it fully this time, hoping there might be identifying photographs hidden inside. Yet when she peered into its hollow interior, disappointment washed over her as nothing but emptiness awaited her gaze. Was this locket once filled with something precious? A hidden truth or cherished memory lost along someone's journey? It struck her deeply that emptiness could resonate just as loudly as memories might, perhaps representing all those dreams left unfulfilled or connections never forged. In that moment, with fragments scattered across the table before her, images and letters telling tales both beautiful and painful, Maria realized that every item bore witness to struggles intertwined through generations only to emerge now, craving to be honored by someone willing to face whatever truths they held. Gathered here were pieces of shattered dreams, mingled with increased strength that kept people going, even when fear lurked in dark corners, wanting to silence those tales forever. And though the burden felt so heavy at times, Maria knew these stories needed sharing for herself and future generations. They carried vital lessons rooted deep within moments when laughter flickered amid despair along their path ahead. Humbled by these artifacts, connecting past lives entwined in close-knit threads through challenges faced one after another, it fueled her determination further, that she would not let history repeat without learning crucial lessons from it instead. Transforming any pain into their collective resolve, moving forward together toward brighter days ahead, filled not just by survival, but genuine happiness reclaimed after generations spent simply trying to endure. As Maria continued to sort through the items in the box, each photograph and letter began to trigger memories from her own past, transporting her into vivid flashbacks that felt as real as the room she sat in. The laughter of children echoed through her mind. The laughter she once knew before responsibilities weighed heavily on her shoulders. She closed her eyes, and suddenly, she was back in her childhood home. The summer sun poured through the window where tiny dust particles floated like little stars. She remembered running barefoot on warm grass, feeling the earth surprisingly soft under her feet, and racing with her friends down to the old creek near their home. It was a carefree and joyful time when every moment felt like an adventure, filled with possibilities and wonder. Maria's heart ached at the fleeting nature of those days. She could see herself standing by the water, giggling as they splashed one another with cool droplets. Their laughter had been infectious. It wrapped around them like a warm blanket, providing comfort against the troubles that seemed so far away. But then a shadow loomed over that serene memory. The weight of adulthood would soon press down on her young spirit. She recalled how dreams had begun slipping away slowly during those formative years. Encouraged by teachers who saw potential in her artistic talent, Maria had aspired to become an artist one day. The visions of painting vibrant landscapes danced often in her head. She could almost smell the paint and feel its texture on her fingertips. Yet life had different plans. As she grew older, she felt pressures building from all sides, expectations piled up like heavy stones left unturned. Financial struggles within her family forced Maria to take on part-time jobs after school, snatching bits of time from what could have been spent creating art. Responsibilities accumulated quickly. Schoolwork transformed into chores at home, while hopes for a promising future faded alongside it. As these memories washed over her, Maria found herself clutching the delicate locket from the box tightly. It was more than just an object. It represented dreams lost somewhere along life's winding path. The intricate designs reminded her of simpler times when moments were free and full of meaning, before adult worries creeped in uninvited. With tears brimming in her eyes, but a glimmer of resilience lighting the edges of memory, Maria pushed away sorrow for missed opportunities and resurfaced feelings. Instead, she chose to channel them toward reflection. Wouldn't it be worth reviving old dreams not just for herself, but for Alex and Lily? They were young enough still, full of hope and wonder, very much like how she once was. In another wave of nostalgia, images came flooding back. Weekends spent crafting hand-painted cards or colorful drawings intended as gifts for family members, each brushstroke filled with love. And sharing those pieces with pride as smiles graced their faces ever so brightly. Response. Those cherished moments intertwined seamlessly with family gatherings, marked by stories often told over hearty meals shared together while fading sunlight disappeared beneath darkening skies outside. Returning to today brought an awakening realization. Maybe life hadn't forced choices solely dictated by hardship, but woven elegantly through sacrifices made willingly within loved ones' hearts. It revealed deep affection, guiding pathways chosen, ultimately filling lives with warmth, amid troubling times faced side by side. Maria opened her eyes again to return to her surroundings. A humble living room, now illuminated softly by daylight, peering cautiously through gray clouds outside. In that space filled with echoes from yesterday, yearned to be honored rather than regretted. She decided firmly, this journey into uncovering family history was not only necessary for understanding where they came from, but also essential reclaiming parts of her self-thought lost long ago. Inspired by newfound clarity, ignited through pieces brought forth from centuries past, captured securely inside this box resting before her now. Each item spoke gently, urging directions for moving forward together, not carried solely on survival stories, but steps, igniting genuine happiness instead. Here lay an opportunity rooted firmly within past stories, waiting patiently, needing voice offered still while building connections between generations, molded courageously upon shared experiences, facing challenges, shaping identities, deeply yet tenderly binding lives across time amid trials endured tirelessly. With threads woven, connecting further strengthening ties, formed irrevocably forever, lasting, leaving no stone unturned along their path ahead. United boldly towards reclaiming brighter days ahead, both rich in enthusiasm, rekindled joy, cemented amidst everything learned, stretching into tomorrow together, writing new chapters inevitably revealing brighter tomorrows, nourished, lovingly crafted, weaving inspiration, reborn anew, reaching toward infinity, entwined within memories, lingering indirectly, guiding always forward, eclipsing shadows left behind, seeking shared light, illuminating paths, always forward anew. Maria took a moment to collect herself after the surge of nostalgia and reflection. She felt a pull toward the letters in the box once more, sensing that one in particular might hold the key to deeper truths about her family. With a steadying breath, she reached for a faded envelope addressed in shaky handwriting, the edges frayed and yellowed with time. It was different from the others. There was a heaviness about it that made her pulse quicken. Carefully, she opened the envelope and unfolded the letter within. As she began to read, her heart sank with each word. The letter was dated nearly 50 years ago and was addressed to her grandmother, Clara, from a man named Joseph. The words flowed with an urgency that seemed to leap off the page as if he had written them in a whirlwind of emotion. "Dearest Clara," it began, "I write this letter with a heavy heart, knowing you may never read these words." Maria felt the weight of those words settle upon her like a cloak of sorrow. She could almost hear the trembling voice of a man burdened with regret, struggling to express what lay within. Joseph's letter unfolded a tragic story, one filled with love and loss. He spoke of their youthful dreams, intertwined with plans for the future, a life they had imagined together. But as Maria read on, she discovered that their love story had been marred by heartache. Joseph revealed that Clara had faced pressures from her family to marry another man, a wealthy suitor who could provide stability during difficult times. Maria's breath caught in her throat as she realized this wasn't just an ordinary love letter. It was a confession of heartbreak. Joseph poured out his anguish over losing Clara to someone else, detailing how he had tried to move on but remained haunted by memories of their shared laughter and dreams. The pain in his words was palpable. Every line dripped with love that slipped through his fingers like sand. Tears welled up in Maria's eyes as she continued reading. Joseph described how he had wandered through life like a ghost, feeling incomplete without Clara by his side. He reminisced about their secret meetings by the old oak tree, where they would dream freely and share whispered hopes for a future unburdened by societal expectations. Yet those dreams faded when her family forced her into an arranged marriage. As Maria absorbed the raw emotions captured in the ink on that fragile paper, she found herself grappling with the implications of this revelation. Her grandmother had sacrificed love for duty, a choice that echoed through generations and impacted Maria's own life decisions. The weight of understanding settled heavily on her heart, making it ache for both Clara and Joseph. In his closing lines, Joseph wrote about how he would always cherish Clara's memory, but felt compelled to let her go for her happiness. "If you find joy in your life, know that I will always be cheering for you from afar," he penned, leaving Maria feeling both moved and broken-hearted simultaneously. The letter revealed an undeniable truth, that love often comes at a cost, and not all stories end in happiness. Maria's thoughts began spiraling as she considered how those unfulfilled dreams affected Clara's choices and ultimately shaped Maria's own life path. Did her grandmother's sacrifices influence how Maria approached motherhood? Had she subconsciously avoided pursuing her own dreams because of the burden left behind by those who came before her? In that moment, Maria realized that heartbreak transcended time. It wove its way through lives like threads in a tapestry. Each decision made out of love or obligation created ripples reaching far beyond any single moment. With trembling hands, she placed the letter back inside its envelope, feeling overwhelmed by emotion. It was as if she had uncovered a family secret that had long been buried, a tragedy that spoke volumes about resilience amid loss. This discovery challenged her understanding of love itself. It wasn't merely about joy, but also acceptance and sacrifice. Wiping away tears that had fallen freely down her cheeks, Maria took a deep breath to steady herself. She knew then that acknowledging these painful truths would not only honor Clara and Joseph, but also help shape her family's future, transforming heartbreak into lessons learned across generations. As she glanced around the room, Maria felt renewed purpose ignite within her spirit. She would no longer allow fear or obligations to silence her dreams. Instead, she vowed to embrace every piece of herself, past, present, and future, and teach Alex and Lily to do the same. This moment marked a turning point. Through understanding heartbreak woven into their family history came opportunities for healing and growth. Armed with newfound clarity about love's complexities, Maria decided it was time to create not just survival stories, but ones filled with hope and happiness too. A legacy worth passing down through generations yet to come. As Maria sat surrounded by the remnants of her family's history, a profound sense of connection enveloped her. She realized that the box wasn't just a collection of forgotten items. It symbolized the sacrifices made by those who came before her and mirrored her own struggles as a mother. With each letter and photograph she examined, Maria felt compelled to reflect on the choices she had made for her children, Alex and Lily. The weight of responsibility pressed down on her shoulders daily. She often woke up before dawn, barely awake, to prepare breakfast, squeeze in laundry, and pack lunches for school, all while juggling her part-time job at the diner. The rush of everyday life left little room for her dreams or desires. And there were times when she questioned whether she would ever find time to paint again or pursue the artistic path she once longed for. Her grandmother Clara's story echoed in Maria's mind. Clara had sacrificed love for duty, forced into an arranged marriage that took her away from dreams. Maria wondered if she was repeating that cycle, putting aside her own aspirations to prioritize her children's needs over her own. As much as she loved Alex and Lily, there were moments when she felt like a shadow of herself, lost beneath the overwhelming tide of obligations. In a particularly poignant moment, Maria lifted a crumpled photograph showing young Clara standing proudly beside a canvas she had painted. It struck Maria deeply. Clara had clearly held on to her artistic spirit despite the constraints placed upon her life. She could almost feel the passion radiating from that image, making Maria ache with longing for her own unfulfilled dreams. Was it wrong to want something beyond motherhood? Did pursuing her passions make her any less of a devoted parent? With tears welling in her eyes, Maria began to understand that sacrifice was a complex tapestry, woven through love and obligation. While she had chosen to dedicate herself to her children, sacrificing late nights out with friends or time for herself, it did not mean that she had to abandon who she was entirely. Instead, perhaps it could be about finding balance, nurturing both her identity and their needs. She thought of the countless times she had put Alex and Lily's happiness first. Whether it was staying up late, helping with school projects, or spending weekends at the park instead of indulging in a quiet moment alone with a paintbrush. Those moments filled with laughter and joy were undeniably precious. But she also recognized now that teaching them about following one's dreams could be just as vital. Maria remembered how resilient children could be. They absorbed everything around them like sponges, learning from actions more than words. If they saw their mother pursuing her passions, wouldn't that instill in them the belief that their dreams mattered too? A wave of determination washed over her as she began to visualize ways to weave art back into her life while still being present for Alex and Lily. That evening, after tucking her children into bed, Maria found herself sitting at the small kitchen table with a sketch pad and pencil in hand. The first time in years she had taken a moment just for herself. The box still lay open beside her, filled with memories waiting to be explored further. Drawing inspiration from Clara's legacy, she decided to sketch scenes from their family's past. Pieces that told their story not only through words, but also through art. As the strokes filled the page, Maria felt liberated. It was as though each line represented a piece of herself coming back to life. Her heart swelled with hope as she envisioned sharing this newfound passion with Alex and Lily, taking them on art adventures where they could create together and discover their own expressions. Maria's resolve strengthened as she realized that pursuing her dreams didn't have to come at the expense of being an attentive mother. In fact, by embracing both roles, she could create a home filled with love, creativity, and inspiration. It was essential to show Alex and Lily that life was about more than merely surviving. It was about living fully and passionately. As days turned into weeks, Maria made small but significant changes. She set aside time after dinner for family art nights, where they would gather around the table armed with paints and brushes. Each stroke became a bonding experience, a celebration of their shared joy, and an acknowledgement of sacrifices made along the way. Embracing this journey opened doors for conversations about dreams and aspirations. It allowed Maria to share Clara's story with her children, while emphasizing the importance of forging their own paths. Through this process, Maria felt connected not only to Clara, but also to generations of women who had navigated similar challenges, each carving out spaces for themselves amid life's demands. In doing so, Maria forged ahead not just as a mother carrying burdens, but as an artist reclaiming parts of herself long set aside, embracing every piece that shaped her narrative, while planting seeds of inspiration within Alex and Lily's hearts. Together, they would continue building a legacy that honored both love and pursuit of dreams, ensuring their family story remained vibrant through art and resilience for years yet to come. As Maria sat surrounded by the items from the old wooden box, a storm of emotions swirled within her. She felt invigorated by the connections she was forging with her family's past, yet a heavy weight pressed down on her heart. The letters and photographs had opened doors to memories long buried, and now she faced a critical decision. Should she confront the painful truths that lay hidden within those stories, or simply tuck them away like the box itself? The thought of diving deeper into her family's history both excited and terrified her. What if there were more secrets waiting to be uncovered? The letter from Joseph had already revealed a heartbreaking tale of love lost and sacrifices made. What other shadows lingered in her family's past? With every item she examined, Maria felt a part of herself being pulled toward the truth. Yet another part wanted desperately to retreat, to bury the past and focus solely on the present. Could she bear to confront the pain that might come with these revelations? Maria recalled moments from her childhood when she overheard whispers about family tragedies during quiet gatherings. Faces would grow solemn as the stories were shared only in hushed tones. Those memories had shaped her understanding of family dynamics long before she became a mother herself. But now, as an adult, she felt the urge to unearth those buried feelings instead of allowing them to fester in silence. She glanced at Alex and Lily, who were playing together nearby. Their laughter filled the room with warmth, a sound so pure it made her heart swell. Yet it also reminded her that they deserved honesty, not just about joys, but also about struggles. If Maria chose to hide her family's truths, would she be robbing them of lessons learned through adversity? Or would facing those truths burden them with pain, better left untouched? With each passing moment, Maria wrestled with her inner conflict. On one hand, there was comfort in ignorance, the idea that some things were better left unknown. But on the other hand, knowledge offered clarity and connection. It could serve as a bridge between generations instead of a wall built from fear and avoidance. Maria took a deep breath as she looked back at the open box. The delicate locket caught her eye again, shimmering under the dim light like a beacon calling out for attention. Its emptiness mirrored her own feelings. What good was it to hold on to something if it did not carry meaning or memory? Perhaps this was an opportunity to rewrite their family narrative, not by ignoring the past, but by embracing it fully. Suddenly, Maria envisioned sharing these stories with Alex and Lily, of Clara's choices and Joseph's heartache, and how those decisions resonated through time into their own lives today. She imagined sitting around their kitchen table on crisp fall evenings, recounting tales not just of struggle, but also resilience and hope. The moments where love triumphed over despair. But what if Alex or Lily struggled with this knowledge? What if they found themselves burdened by the weight of inherited pain? Doubts crept into Maria's mind as she considered their youth and innocence. Did they need to know everything right away? Still grappling with uncertainty, Maria felt a rush of courage surge through her veins. She had always taught her children about honesty and bravery. Perhaps that meant showing them how to face life's complexities head-on, rather than sheltering them from reality. They could learn together how past sacrifices shaped their lives, while encouraging them to carve out their own paths, free from guilt or hesitation. That night, after tucking Alex and Lily into bed, Maria returned to the kitchen, where she had first begun sketching again. With renewed purpose coursing through every fiber of her being, she committed herself to exploring Clara's story further, delving deeper into family lore, while allowing space for healing along the way. As she picked up a pencil once more, Maria decided that confronting these memories didn't mean dwelling on sorrow. It could also mean celebrating survival against odds stacked heavily against them throughout generations. A testament honoring those who came before, while inspiring those who followed behind. With resolve set firmly in place, Maria vowed to embrace this journey, not just for herself, but for Alex and Lily too. A legacy crafted through shared stories filled with both heartache and hope. Her heart raced at the thought of transforming what could have been shadows lurking beneath layers of dust into bright moments illuminating paths forward together. The power derived from understanding rooted deeply within family histories, now waiting patiently at last. The decision lay heavy in front of her. But instead of fear taking hold, strength surged forth as certainty blossomed within, realizing that true connection comes not merely from avoiding uncomfortable truths, but embracing them wholeheartedly alongside cherished loved ones, walking step by step onward toward brighter tomorrows ahead. The next sunny Saturday afternoon, Maria saw an opportunity to share the treasures and stories she had discovered with her children. The sunlight streamed through the kitchen window, casting warm patterns on the table where she had laid out the contents of the wooden box. She called Alex and Lily, who were playing in the living room, inviting them to join her in this new adventure. "Come here, you two. I want to show you something special," she said, her voice filled with excitement. As they bounded into the kitchen, curiosity danced in their eyes. "What's going on, Mom?" Alex asked eagerly, his small hands resting on the table's edge as he peered at the assortment of letters and photographs. "I found this old box hidden under the floorboards while cleaning," Maria began, her heart swelling with pride as she prepared to share their family history. "It holds pieces of our family's past, stories from your grandmother and great-grandmother that I think are important for you both to know." Lily's bright eyes widened as she leaned closer to inspect the treasures spread before her. "Can we see it?" she squealed, barely able to contain her excitement. "Yes. But first, let me tell you about some of these things," Maria said, picking up a faded photograph showing her mother as a young girl. "Look at this picture. This is Grandma when she was around your age, Lily. She loved to play outside, just like you do." As Maria held up the photograph, she could see a glimmer of recognition in Lily's face. "She looks happy," Lily remarked, smiling at her grandmother's youthful exuberance captured in that moment. "She was happy," Maria replied softly. "But life wasn't always easy for her." She paused for a moment, contemplating how much of Clara's story to share while ensuring it was appropriate for their young hearts. Maria decided to tread carefully as she continued recounting the challenges Clara faced. "When your grandma grew older, she had to make some tough choices. She loved someone named Joseph very much, but ended up marrying someone else because of family pressures." Alex furrowed his brow in confusion. Why would she have to do that? If she loved Joseph, why couldn't she just be with him? "That's a great question," Maria explained thoughtfully. "Back then, families sometimes made decisions for their children based on what they thought was best, not always considering what the children wanted." She could see Alex processing this information. "But that sounds unfair," he exclaimed earnestly. "She should have followed her heart." "Exactly," Maria encouraged him with a nod. "And that's why I want both of you to understand how important it is to stay true to yourself and follow your own dreams. Just like Grandma Clara dreamed of being an artist." She picked up another letter from Joseph addressed to Clara and began reading passages aloud. Words filled with longing and sorrow that spoke directly to the struggles of love and duty. It resonated deeply within Maria as she read aloud about sacrifices made for family and societal expectations. As they listened intently, Alex turned towards Lily and whispered excitedly, "We can learn from this." Maria felt an overwhelming sense of pride wash over her as they processed these lessons together. Their innocent yet insightful reactions warmed her heart. They were beginning to appreciate choices that shaped not only their lives, but also those before them. After finishing reading Joseph's heartfelt letter, Maria took a deep breath and set it aside carefully. "These stories remind us that life isn't perfect or easy," she said gently while looking into each child's eyes. "But we can grow stronger through our experiences, good or bad." Both Alex and Lily exchanged glances, filled with understanding. Even though they were young, they could feel the weight behind every choice made by their grandmother. "Mom," Lily spoke up hesitantly after a moment of silence, "do you think we will have hard choices too?" Maria smiled softly at her daughter's innocence, as well as her wisdom beyond those years. "Yes, sweetie. You will likely face tough decisions just like anyone else. And it's okay to feel scared sometimes. But remember this: you have each other and me." The conversation flowed naturally from there. Maria shared more about their family history while emphasizing resilience through their hardships. She encouraged them not only to ask questions, but also to express themselves creatively, drawing inspiration from what they learned about Clara. "Can we create art inspired by these stories?" Alex asked eagerly. "Like Grandma Clara did?" "That sounds perfect," Maria exclaimed joyfully, as excitement bubbled within all three of them at the prospect of intertwining art with life lessons learned. Together, they decided on a project: drawing pictures depicting moments from Clara's life intertwined with their own dreams, reflecting hopes for brighter tomorrows ahead. All stitched together by love despite past challenges faced across generations. As laughter filled the kitchen that day, amidst brushes dancing across paper alongside tender conversations about legacy. The power derived from understanding sparked motivation coursing through hearts entwined anew. This journey became an exploration not just about uncovering history, but building connections rooted firmly within. Love igniting future aspirations. In sharing these stories openly among one another, their hearts expanded, risking vulnerability while nurturing joy. Celebrating resilience reflected brightly shining throughout time. Destined nurture life's tapestry, woven beautifully still yet endlessly unfolding before them all together. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow throughout their small kitchen, Maria felt a renewed sense of purpose pulse through her. The afternoon spent sharing family stories with Alex and Lily filled her heart with warmth and hope. Each laugh, each question from her children about their grandmother's past, reminded her that they were all part of a larger narrative, one woven together by love, sacrifice, and the resilience to face challenges head-on. Maria couldn't help but reflect on how far she had come. The weight of her daily struggles had often clouded her vision, making it difficult to see the strength she carried within herself. But now, as she looked at Alex and Lily working on their art at the table, each brushstroke infused with emotion, it became clear that she was not just a caretaker. She was also an artist in her own right, shaping their lives with the lessons learned from history. With each passing day, Maria found herself increasingly determined to break free from the cycle of self-doubt and sacrifice that had plagued her for too long. The discoveries from the wooden box served not only as a bridge to her past, but also as powerful reminders of what it meant to embrace one's identity fully. Clara's story and Joseph's heartfelt letter echoed in her mind, guiding her toward a more profound understanding of love's complexities, both joyful and painful. As Maria gathered the children's artwork to hang on the walls, a new tradition they had established together, she experienced a surge of gratitude for the opportunity to create alongside them. Each piece they made reflected their emotions and experiences. They were no longer just drawings, but testaments to their shared journey as a family navigating both joy and sorrow. That evening, once Alex and Lily were tucked into bed, Maria retreated to her cozy spot in the living room. The table where she had first explored Clara's story now converted into a creative sanctuary. Surrounded by sketches of vibrant landscapes and colorful portraits inspired by both Clara's past and her newfound aspirations, Maria felt invigorated. In that quiet space, she picked up a blank canvas and set it before her, a fresh start waiting patiently for inspiration. As she squeezed tubes of paint between her fingers, recalling Clara's artistic spirit filled with passion and yearning, Maria could feel each color speaking to her soul. This was more than mere expression. It was an affirmation of everything she wanted for herself and for her children. With every stroke of paint brushed onto canvas, Maria poured out feelings long stifled beneath layers of doubt. She painted not just what she saw, but what she felt. The warmth of family connections, the weight of loss transformed into resilience, and dreams reawakened glimmering brightly against all odds. It was cathartic. Grief turned into beauty manifested right before her eyes. As night deepened outside their home, Maria realized this was more than just art. It was about honoring those who came before, while celebrating who they were becoming as individuals entwined together through life's challenges. A legacy shaped by choices made both past and present that forged stronger bonds moving forward. Days turned into weeks, filled with painting nights alongside Alex and Lily, as they created pieces inspired by stories from both Clara's life and their own dreams for tomorrow. They laughed together over spilled paint, while encouraging one another to push boundaries creatively. It became less about perfection and more about process as they explored themselves through art. Through these moments, and many conversations about courage drawn from family history, Maria found strength growing roots deeper than ever before within herself. She understood now that sharing stories wasn't merely revealing shadows, but embracing light, illuminating paths ahead. One evening, after dinner, while cleaning up brushes left, scattered across tables covered in cheerful colors, reflecting vibrant energy shared among them all, Maria took time for reflection. And what emerged were ripples connecting generations, thriving boldly still, today held firmly through bonds forged across time, anchored deeply rooted firmly within love, transcending limits, once thought unbreakable. As dawn broke anew each morning, carrying forward promises made yesterday, entwined, tightly wrapped around hearts, open wide, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. Maria knew this journey would never truly end. Instead, it would continue evolving, with every brushstroke applied on canvas, reflecting grandeur, unfolding beautifully amidst stories told time again, wherein lies true strength. Together, they would craft futures brimming brightly alive, enriched, profoundly nourished forever along pathways leading toward joy, reclaimed amidst shared purpose, stretched endlessly beyond horizons, beckoning ever closer, illuminated boldly fueled, brightly burning, ever-eternal flame. Igniting creativity, pouring forth unabashedly, crafting memories treasured, passed down generations, yet still waiting, timelessly unfolding, splendidly revealed through art, nourished, gently sustained continuously forevermore.